So we blew it. Forest are in the conference. Chelsea, Newcastle get in. Villa in the mud with us. But they got Europa. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Oh, it's going to be a long summer, boys. It's going to be a long summer. Hey, guys. Hope you're well. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Straight off the back of that crap show. First half, good. Second half, I don't even want to think about it, man. I ain't want to think about it. But anyway, I've done plenty of talking. So, guys, make sure you've hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Well, you're at the ground. How's it?
Well, the ground was fantastic. The atmosphere was, incredible Forest atmosphere. Very proud of our fans. Always am. But I'm disappointed. Before the day kicked off, I'd kind of almost accepted the fact that we're most likely going to end up in the Europa League, and I was okay with that because I think that we can win that, and that gets you to Champions League, and it's a trophy, etc., etc. You've only got to look at the two appalling teams that contested the final this year to think, yeah, Forest have got a chance in that. However, I didn't think it'd be us that had let us down. The fact that the results went our way, spectacularly our way, with Newcastle losing at home to Everton and Man U beating Aston Villa, 2-0. We couldn't have asked for anything more. And I still don't know why we lost that game. Chelsea were nothing. I'm telling you now, Chelsea were nothing special. I said several times during the game, these guys are nothing. Their defense is awful. Their goalkeeper is dreadful. But we weren't high pressing like we had done in a couple of previous games. And I couldn't understand why not. Because their goalie is a bag of nerves. He can't kick the ball. But we created virtually nothing. Chris Wood, who, by the way, has to go. Wow. And I don't care he scored 20 goals. We needed a striker today. Chris Wood affected the game in no way, shape, or form today, apart from missing chances. He affected the game. He didn't win headers in the air. Well, that's where normally headers are, but he didn't win any headers. He was out-muscled every time. He's out-muscled. Now, Chris Wood has been magnificent for us this season. There's no doubt about it. But we need something more from a striker. I know it sounds ridiculous, and I've always been one of these people that say, hey, if striker scores goals, that's all that matters. The way the game's changed, that's no longer the case. You need a striker that's got pace for a start and got something about him. And I'm afraid that today, I'm not going to go in on the guy because he's been magnificent, but today I thought it was a very poor performance. I thought Sangare was magnificent again and showed what we had been missing for a long time. And hopefully he'll get a pre-season and get his feet under the table and start performing like that regularly. In which case, that's the number 6 solved. Seriously, he's very, very good. He's so calm, I don't know why Hudson-Odoi was brought on. I don't know why. He's not done it for several weeks, and he was totally ineffectual today. It sounds like I'm going in on players, and that's not fair because of what they've contributed throughout the season. But I'm going on the match, not the season. And the match, I'm disappointed because they weren't that good. Chelsea had nothing in attack. Nothing.
They didn't have a striker, man.
I know. I thought there's no way these are going to score against us. They've got, a bit like I said with Arsenal, they've got no attack. And they've got the goals at the far end to me. And it looked like a mistake or two was in there, and it looked a scruffy goal. It didn't look a convincing goal to me, but I'll need to see it again before I can fully make a judgment on it. But going forward, no, it was just not good enough. Don't get me wrong, we're not a bad side, by the way. We finished 7th in the Premier League. We're not a bad side. But it's where your ambitions are. It's where you're looking, isn't it? It's where your aspirations are. If you're happy with 7th place, and you should be happy with 7th place, bearing in mind our previous 2 seasons, that's okay. But that can't be your benchmark, can it? You need to be looking higher. And we finished a point off Champions League. So
is that what it ended up?
I'm disappointed right now, Wolfie. I'm disappointed right now. I've just literally got in the door, and I'm disappointed. Maybe in the days and weeks to come. And I'll tell you something. I will say this right now: we must win this Conference League. We must win it. If we're in it, we've got to win it, because then it makes it worthwhile. It is worthwhile winning the Conference League. It gives you a trophy, no matter what we might say to other fans.
I don't care about it.
It gives you a trophy. It's on your honours list. It goes up on the board. It's there. You've won it. It does give you a little tiny bit of exposure on the continent. Nothing like Champions League or Europa.
Well, against Nowhere FC, bro.
Yeah, but other people watch it. People from other countries watch it. You know, some do. They must do. I don't personally. I got to admit, I've never seen a conference apart from the final, the West Ham final. I watched that, and that was brilliant. Now that's where I'm coming to. Watching them in that final, I was a little bit jealous. I thought that looks a hell of a day out and a hell of a good fun, good feeling. Gives you good feeling. And of course, what it does, it puts you guaranteed into the Europa the following year. So there's reasons to go for that cup. So if we're in it, we must win it. We must try to win it. And what it does is it forces the issue of we need to get a bigger and better squad, doesn't it? So, which we do need. Murilo's going, by the way. I think Champions League. I believe, we don't know, but I believe if we'd have achieved Champions League, I think he would have stayed. MGW the same, although I'm not too bothered about MGW as long as we get a good money for him. I think those 2 are the 2 that people are going to be coming in for. Maybe more, but certainly those 2, and they'll need replacing. Anyway, I've babbled on a surprisingly long time. I'll let Ben have his say.
Yeah, we've already got over 500 in there, guys. Please do hit the like button. Get your thoughts in as well. We're only on 64 likes.
Can I just say, I want to make this point, actually. Sorry.
Yeah.
People try and understand. I've just come back from a match where we've lost, we've not played well, and we failed to achieve something which would have been magnificent. So right now, of course, I'm really upset and disappointed. In the coming days and weeks, I will come to terms with it, I'm sure, and appreciate what a fantastic season we've had. Some of the results we've achieved, the teams we've beaten that we've not beaten for a long time. All those things will start to come back. But right now, please understand, I'm gutted.
It is okay to be pissed off and gutted. It doesn't stop you supporting your team.
Of course.
I wonder if the Villa fans, I wonder how the Villa fans are feeling,
Yeah. Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make them, should they not be disappointed? It's like...
they must feel even worse than us.
Honestly, man. Honestly. And I just...
Or as bad as
I've got to say, it's probably.
I wish Villa and Newcastle had won, though. It would have.
I know. It's just such a Forest way to end the season. But this one goes down with all the rest of them, boys. Put them in the archives.
We've beaten Man U twice. We've beaten Tottenham twice. We've beaten Liverpool at Anfield. There are incredible memories from this season. It will just take a while for them to percolate to the surface.
Yeah, but Ant, we're like first loser. It doesn't mean anything if you don't do what you're trying to do.
I get that, Ben, but I'd rather be first loser than 10th loser. Honestly, I would. It does make a difference.
I don't know, bro. The way I'm feeling right now.
It gives you some hope for the future. If you finish 16th and 17th like we have, we didn't have a lot really to hope for. Whereas now you think, well, if we can keep this squad, improve on this squad, maybe we can go again next season.
I think it's a lot of it's about context. If you'd said to us at the start of the season, would you take 7th place? Then yeah, of course. For for Nottingham Forest, it's a really good season. But if you have ambition, in the last 8 games, we've got 8 points. I mean, I remember we sat here 8 games ago saying, of course we'll get Champions League. We need
Everybody
8 points.
did,
I think we need 10 points or so from 8 games, which just sounds like a really easy thing to do. I think we've had 1 point from our last 4 home games. So we've gone from...
Is that right?
Yeah, someone said we had 1 point from our last
Brentford,
4 home
Everton, Leicester and Chelsea.
So what we've done is we've gone from massively overachieving. So if you look at that Sky stat from last week, if we were to continue in the last 7 games on points, we'd actually come last in the whole league. If you base it on the last 7 games, we would have come 20th in the Premier League.
Seriously?
So, yeah.
I said to my brother on the way out, Ben. I said to my brother on the way out that I'm hoping and praying that the form we showed for the first 30 games is what we can achieve, and not the last 8 games, which is basically what we have been for the last 2 seasons.
Well, this is the worry, isn't it? It's almost like we know we overachieved, but I think we can see that even more so now. The fact that these last 8 games have been so dreadful, we can see how much we were overachieving. And my worry is that everything we've built in terms of our solid foundations, like Murillo, Milenkovic, etc., those players, our best players, they're not going to want to stay if someone comes in and offers them Champions League football.
Correct.
If another club comes in to Murillo and offers him Champions League football and an extra 50 grand a week, he'll be gone. Yeah. He'll be gone. We will lose all.
You can't blame him, can you? You couldn't blame him.
No, don't forget, these guys aren't Forest fans, right? The only Forest fan in the team is Ryan Yates. But yes, we've had a good season in general, but from where we were, it's unacceptable. I think it's unacceptable. And the thing that really annoys me is that my main issue with Nuno all season has been his substitutions. And here we are again today. He takes off Sangare. Sangare was the best player on that pitch. Some of the forward passes he was making, some of the through balls he was making were great. And he takes him off. And he was our best player on that pitch. And then 10 minutes from the end, he thinks, I'll throw Jota on. You need 2 goals. Jota's not going to come on and score 2 goals. Now, he could come on and score a goal for sure, but not with 10 minutes left. And I don't understand why, when we know we needed to win, why not just go for it? Like Wolfie said earlier, who cares if we lose 3-4-0? We're 1-0 down and you need a goal. At least get a goal for Europa. Europa would have been good as well. But it just stinks of too much pressure on them. They've effectively thrown away the last third of the season. And yes, we've got Conference League, although don't forget you do have to do a few matches to actually get into that, don't you? A few qualification
playoff leg.
Yeah, so you have to do a playoff to get into that.
Sorry, you have to have 1 2-legged playoff.
Yeah, a 2-leg playoff to get into the Conference League. If you go and win it, fair enough. I mean, that'll be great. Then it guarantees you Europa the season after. But from the position we were in, that's the point. The position we were in 8 games ago, it's unacceptable. And I can guarantee you that Marinakis is absolutely fuming. I bet he's
there today, but he was there today, by the way. He was there.
Yeah, they cut to him, man. He was doing a death stare.
I'm not surprised.
An absolute death stare.
So it's a massive disappointment. Yes, in hindsight, it's a good season for Forest, and it'll give us some experience in the Conference League, some experience in Europe, which is obviously good for the club. But it's just, you've got to have ambition. And I think some of our fans lack ambition because I've seen
belief. Probably it's belief. Probably it's not ambition. Perhaps they don't believe.
I've seen a lot of things after the match on Twitter saying, people are negative about this club. We've got Conference League. Why is everyone being so negative? Because they're taking it out of context. Yes, Conference League is good for where we were at the start of the season, but it's not acceptable to get 8 points in 8 games. You've got to have ambition. If you don't have ambition, you'll never improve. It's the same with players as well. You can always find better players.
Sorry, Ben. My issue with the Conference League is that there's very little benefit, but lots of potential hazards. It's not financially, but it's not financially beneficial. It doesn't benefit you in the fact that you can attract better players.
Yeah.
But what it can do is damage your league season, as we saw with West Ham, because you're having to play all these games, extra games. So you've got to be prepared for that. You've got to, in fact, you've got to approach it as if it's Europa League. Do you know what I mean? Because it's no good going half fast at it. Because if you do, you're going to be caught between two stools. You're not going to win the conference, and you're not going to do well in the league. So you have to take it seriously if you're in it, or throw it. But you know,
he's got to expand the team, hasn't he? So we had this discussion back in January. There were people who called us negative for suggesting that there could be injuries, etc., throughout the season.
Yeah, that was
at the
crazy,
end of the day. If you put the injuries to one side, we all sat here in January and said we need a different option to Chris Wood. When Chris Wood is not firing on all cylinders, we do not have a good enough backup striker. And it's true. We don't have a different type of offering up front. We need a striker who can take on their defenders with pace, with power.
You know what? Sorry, Ben. Go on.
I'm just going to say, we some people would say that that's Tyro, but obviously Tyro hasn't been in great form. Yes, we need a striker similar to Tyro, but somebody who's consistent. Because when Chris Wood, these last 8 or so games, he's fallen off a cliff. And I'm to be honest, I'm not expecting Chris Wood to come back and fire on all cylinders next season. He's going to be another year older. He looks to me like he's coming towards the end of his career. If he doesn't get the ball right to his if he doesn't get the ball right to his foot
whatsoever.
I mean,
I said to my brother, can you imagine? And I know this is ridiculous and we shouldn't do it, but can you imagine if we just dropped Stan Collymore into this team? The difference it would make.
Yeah.
Because what Chelsea did, and I'm sure you both saw it on TV, what Chelsea did, and it was so clear from where I was sitting, is what Everton, Brentford, Leicester did and sat back.
Yeah. They're just passing it between their centre backs.
I mean,
there were literally 10 players behind the ball.
I thought Chelsea defended really well, but just to finish
they didn't. Ben, I don't think they did defend well. I don't think they were comfortable. I think it was shocking. So they didn't need to defend well. All they need to do was have bodies there.
Well, we had a lack of.
We can't break it down.
I got some news here.
Good news.
So apparently, there's an issue with Crystal Palace.
In what sense?
So Crystal Palace face Europa League devastation because of Textor. Crystal Palace, the American billionaire owner, owns a 45% stake in the Premier League side through his company Eagle Football Holding. The 59-year-old also owns a majority stake in French club Lyon and a Brazilian club. Textor initially moved to sell his shares in Palace as he was looking to secure ownership of Everton. He eventually missed out on the deal to buy the Merseyside team. It's now emerged that Textor is attempting an audacious takeover of a Palace after holding talks with fellow co-owner David whoever and Josh whoever about the purchase of the shares. However, the finance his competitors hold on, where's the main line here? So basically, it becomes an issue because he owns Lyon, who are in the Europa League, and he would own Crystal Palace as well. And he's missed the cutoff of the ownership change thing.
So what are you trying to say?
So Forest could be bumped up into Europa at Crystal Palace expense.
Knowing the way football works and the way that these, UEFA work, I don't see that happening. But let's hope. But I don't.
Guardian is saying that Palace are confident they'll be cleared to play in the Europa League, even if Lyon also qualify for the. Chat, can someone find out where Lyon finished in the French league? The newspaper said UEFA is believed to be preparing to look into the case, with the decision expected to be made early June. Under the governing body rules, Palace would miss out due to their lower placing in the domestic league than Lyon. So Lyon would get the priority.
Is this
you'd expect Textor was prepared?
It's never happened yet, though, has it? There's been several clubs that have feared it, like Chelsea, Forest, Man U, and it's just never happened yet. Mind you, Palace are a small club, so it could happen to them. and I mean that with greatest respect to Palace. You know, I think we'd be in a similar boat, if I'm honest. But Palace, they're not Manchester United, are they? You know, they're not Chelsea. They've not got the books.
I mean, Manchester United are one of the smallest clubs you could possibly think of at the moment.
They'll just have to sell stake in Leon.
Yeah.
The cut-offs, I think the cut-off went on the 30th, didn't it? Of April, because Marinakis had to do it.
Yeah.
PSG won the French Cup, so Leon moved into Europa.
Up to Europe. Oh,
I'll speak to Rich and D about it. I'll see what they know. On
Yeah.
there.
I
Leon
mean,
are in Europa, okay.
I'm not gonna hold on to that too much, and I feel almost guilty, you know, wanting it to happen, because I would feel really sorry for the Palace fans. You know, they don't deserve.
Well, they've
that.
deserved it, haven't they? They've done.
They've already won. They've already won something. It don't matter.
Yeah, but they did
That's
their
true.
business.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They'll take one for the team. I just wanted to finish my point quickly on Chris Wood. The difference with Chris Wood was good 2/3 of the season because he got in the right position and his finishing was class. In fact, he was probably one of the best finishers in the league. When he's not finishing, he can't offer anything. Like as we saw
Exactly.
today. If his finishing is off the boil, he doesn't offer anything as a striker. He doesn't make like fast runs. He doesn't try and get in behind, and if he does, he's offside a lot. He's literally there to plonk himself in the right position and tap in the ball. And if he's lost that, then that's Chris Wood's career over, as far as I'm concerned.
He's got a nice new 2-year contract though, so you don't have to worry about money.
He'd be a good coach.
Let's be real. We bottled him.
Yeah, in his last 8 games,
100%. We bottled it 3 times over. 3 times over.
I mean,
that word again, isn't it? It's that word again.
Yeah, but the late Everton
it's
goal.
It's a fucking word, man. It's not a goddamn racist slur or something, man. It's a word.
It's in the dictionary. It's definitely a word.
Yeah. So if I said, okay, we've capitulated, would that like be more palatable?
We were unable to handle the pressure. But I don't know if it is
that. It means the same thing.
It means exactly the same thing. That's what I always say to you. It's just that bottling is a football word, and it's used in a derogatory manner. You know what I mean?
I'm not using it in derogatory manner. I'm using it in the essence of what it means. We were 10 points clear of 6. We then bottled it against Leicester, and then today you get given this huge lifeline,
massive,
and we bottled it.
Yeah.
Sai was cute. Wait, let me just do these super chats. Shout out to James with the $5. Footy fans often talk about a lack of quality plan B with attacking coaches. They don't when a defensive-minded coach doesn't have one. I hear you, James, but he's definitely not got a plan B. Big up to you for the $5.
Maybe the team, maybe the squad is not, or maybe he doesn't feel the squad is capable of producing a plan B.
But
we occasionally do see a plan B. If we go goal behind sometimes, and all of a sudden, you know, like the Villa game, I think the Newcastle game was it, where we almost, you know, we had a much better second half, and we started.
Yeah, because Newcastle were 4-0 up at halftime or whatever it was.
I agree. No, I agree 100% with what you're saying. I do.
But we should have been today when they went 1-0 up. We should have switched into that type of Villa mentality where we just went all out at them for the remainder.
Exactly.
Of the match. And we didn't.
There's none of that.
We didn't. We looked so lackluster in the attack. And that's where Jota needed to come on much earlier. Sangare should have stayed on the pitch. I just don't like some of Nuno's tactics. I don't like his in-game management, basically.
Their goalkeeper comes in for a lot of criticism from Chelsea fans, and I didn't believe he could possibly be as bad as they say he was, and he is. He's dreadful. But my question:
he didn't have anything to say, Van.
Did he actually? My question: did he actually make a save?
No.
Whose fault's that?
He didn't. Our 2 big chances were Wood's chances, and they both blazed over the bar. Surprised the second one didn't clear the Trent end. Like, seriously. So, check what
when the referee pointed to goal kick after that, I said to Nathan, I said, that can't be right. That can't. if Chris Wood got to it, he
Yeah.
must score. That can't have
And-
been Chris Wood that did that. It must be the defender that did that.
And have you seen it back?
I've just got in. I know.
And
Well, the
right,
one where it's his knee.
the first one, he gets to it comfortably before the keeper, and it hits his shin. He goes Taiwo settings on it. It just needed a delicate touch. Just
It looked a good chance, but I was at Trenton, and that was a Bridges time, one of the first one.
that was the Bridgeford one, right?
Yeah,
The
it looked a
second
good
one,
chance.
the second one, he does it like beautifully. He brings it down on his thigh, controls it really well. He's not closed down by anyone, and then blazes it, bro. It was
That
unbelievable.
ball at the end from Sells was literally perfect. When Sells ran halfway,
Yeah, that was the best pass of the game.
and put it straight on his lap, and he missed. I was like, says it all. I tell you what, it's such a Forest thing to do what we do today. Everyone else loses, and we lose as
Yeah,
well.
but you say it's a Forest thing, but don't you think Villa fans are saying it's such a Villa thing to forget? Newcastle fans, although they spawned it, such as people say that they always think their own club is different.
That's why I said before, like teams like you disagreed with me, Ant, but teams like Man City, when they need to get the job done, they get it done.
Yeah.
When have I disagreed with that? I don't think I've ever disagreed. Man City,
they've got that kind of big game mentality.
Yeah, for sure, for definite. No, I agree with you on that.
Did you see this from Sai? Shout out Sai, 33 months, legends.
Oh, sorry.
Fuck off, Ben. Fuck off, Ben. He goes, I was keeping Sales updated with scores in the game.
Is he level with Raya? Because Raya conceded as well.
Yeah, he won it. He won the Golden Glove with Raya.
That's brilliant. I'm pleased.
I saw the picture on Twitter. He was holding up the Golden Glove
trophy. He's one player, to be fair to him, whose form hasn't dipped in the last 8 games.
Yeah,
he still produced a lot of good saves. So
I'm just saying I don't give a damn about a golden damn glove over Champions League football.
No, I'm talking on a personal level for him.
Yeah, on a personal level, big up to him. He's been solid from day 1 to day 38, whatever you want to call it.
It makes no difference to us as a club. No, of course not. It's nice.
I remember
when Forest won the European Cup. I went to have a picture taken with them, and we had the European Cup, League Cup, Player of the Year, Manager of the Year, Charity Shield. So you say it don't matter, but when they're all on the table and the big buddies, there were big trophies as well. It does look impressive.
Don't forget though, as well, and I know you guys will say it doesn't matter as a goalkeeper, but I think Sells will be maybe 35 next year. Like these players are getting.
Yeah, but goalkeepers can go on to like they're 38.
I think Sells will be all right.
I hope so.
Yeah. Hey, Villa have put an official complaint in to the Premier League after their loss. You haven't seen it, Ant, have you?
I've seen nothing.
So Villa 0-0, right? They've had the keeper sent off. Ball goes back to the
That's his last ever game for him, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's leaving.
And that's way to go out. But anyway, the ball goes back to they had Bayern Deering goal, Man United. He went to pick it up. He went to pick it up. It wasn't in his hands. Like when you watch the slow-mo, it's not in his hands. Rodgers kicks it away from him, puts it into the empty net, and he gets disallowed. And then Man U go up the other end and score, and then obviously get a penalty. Villa are absolutely fuming. They were robbed, man. Villa were 1,000,000% robbed.
This is Schadenfreude. I can never say that word, but you shouldn't glory in your other people's misery. But it helps, doesn't it? It helps that Villa fans
Villa still got Europa. Villa got Europa, which is a decent.
Yeah, no, but Ben, all they have to do is go to Man U and not lose. I mean.
Yo, me and Josh were in for a long night. I'll never.
I'll tell you what, it was quite funny. I've seen on a couple of streams now with Pete, lovely Pete from Leaded Mag, where people have been saying you must prefer the Man U game to the Everton one. Surely you'd rather be playing Man U. Say no, I'm happy with. You've seen this, Wolf, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm happy with Everton at home. I wouldn't want Man U away, and then they lose at home. I mean, what's going on?
Because it has to be this way with our club. You know what I'm saying? This is like when you get hurt, you gotta proper have the knife twisted. Like that extra twist in there.
See,
It
when
got
I-
twisted
when I-
twice today. Twice.
You said this is why I have a bit of a problem, I guess, with this our club. You know, with its typical Forest. Because when I was a kid, we won games in last minute all the time. You know, Liverpool and well, there's only Liverpool around really that were any good. Bombers. But you know, we'd score these last minute. We always won, basically. I mean, 42 games unbeaten. We always won. Or
Yeah, that's nice, man. I weren't born. Half the chat weren't born then.
I know, but that's obviously in my DNA, isn't it? I expect us to win. You know, I'm not one of these that I expect you to lose because it's typical Forest. No, I expect us to win everything.
I've just seen too many playoff pains. Freaking.
Not as many as Sheffield United. Let's give them a shout out. Talking of other people that are in pain.
Yo, he's gone radio silent, man. He's in radio silent.
I don't
When are you
blame him.
getting on to
Poor
Nuno?
guy.
We're coming on to Nuno. I am actually hearing some news about Nuno. Mark with the $5. Thank you so much, buddy. He goes, as bad as this feels now, we would have been over the moon to finish 7th at the start of the season. I appreciate all that you do and crypto as well. Mark, do. Oh, all that you and crypto, Mark, do. Thank you, Mark. You're an absolute legend, bro. Appreciate your support. I'm just like, I'm not angry. I'm just so broken by it.
Yeah.
You can look at that. Just look at the table. I know no one wants to. Just look at that table. 1 point separated us from Champions League.
Mind
1
you, I will
point.
tell you something else as well. When we talk about that 1 point, I can guarantee that certainly Villa, obviously the others are in Champions League, they don't give a shit, but there'll be times when they'll be doing exactly the same. That game,
Villa lost out on goal difference.
Yeah, Villa lost out just on goal difference.
Oh, Josh, man.
I tell you what,
I'm starting to feel better already. What them in Sheffield United?
I'm gonna stand by.
Steve, thanks for sending me that article.
Derby. Yeah,
I'm gonna stand by what I said in Jan. We went in Jan for Vissa, and the Brentford pushed back and said, "You've made an offer that's too low. We want more for him." Right? Let's say we would have had to pay 5 million over the odds for the Jan transfer window. Do you think Vissa would have been worth more than 1 point throughout the rest of our season?
Ben, you're preaching to the choir, mate. We were all there saying the same thing. You don't like 100 in my opinion.
I know we were on
my opinion, we have failed
who weren't.
100% due to a lack of activity in the January sale. People say what they like.
The point I'm
We'd
trying
have
to
been
make
active in that January sale and got in the right players, we'd have been fine.
The point I'm trying to make is look at the table now, 1 point.
Yeah.
All we needed was a different optional striker. Who cares if you overpay by 5 mil? We've just lost out 100 mil from not getting Champions League.
Spot on. That fun Pat, by the way.
The reason it annoys me so much, Ant, is because I got a ton of fucking hate on Twitter saying you're so negative, blah 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 blah. I told you about that guy who DM'd me and said, "Does a
hold on? There's more breaking news. Hold on.
That we need.
So there's more reports to say that Mateus Nunes could be coming to Forest and a switch with Gibbs-White.
Oh, I know you don't like him. I do like him.
No, I do like him. I just don't think he's a right back.
He's definitely not a right back.
Yeah, but that's what they've been playing him.
Yeah, no, I think I'm close to saying I prefer him to MGW, if I'm honest. He's very
not
athletic.
a 10, though, is he?
No, he's not a 10. No. He's very athletic. He's a central midfielder, I would say. Very athletic, very.
They'd sell him for 35.
I think
they want to cut their losses on him.
I think we need to be aiming higher. Like, go for a Cunha or an Mbuemo. Like, look at the difference they've made this season.
Realistic, mate. It's no good having these players that we'd like. You've got to be realistic. Even Mbuemo, yes, he's a fantastic player. I would love him at our club, but I'm not being funny. But the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal are looking at him. You know, and you got to be honest with yourself. It's hard because we all believe our club is the biggest and best in the world. But players don't always feel the same way. And if they've got opportunity to come to Forest in conference or go to the current English champions or, you know, prospective champions in Arsenal, they're not going to pick us. And they will be paid more money as well. So you've got to be realistic.
I know,
If
but
we
you've
got
also-
Champions
you've also
League,
got
it
to
would
be
have been a
ambitious.
different matter. Even with Champions League, we would still have been competing against Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, either Chelsea or Newcastle. So we would still have been at the bottom of that pile.
I know, but you need to have ambition because that's the only way you can grow as a club.
Yeah, but I think that Matheus Nunes is ambitious. I think he's a great player. Don't
Yeah, but
forget, Man City bought him for a lot of money.
I agree with you, but the ironic thing will be that then Morgan Gibbs-White goes to a so-called Big Six club, so that defeats your argument.
If I don't care about that,
Yeah, but that defeats your
I
argument.
don't rate him that highly. I know I'll probably get lynched, but I don't rate him that highly. Today, did you see him today?
He was anonymous today. He was absolutely anonymous.
Lots of players were crap today. I mean, I thought Aina was awful today, and he's one of our best players all season.
Yeah, he was shocking.
He put the ball out about 3 or 4 times. Murillo,
he's not fit though, is he, Ben?
Trying to make long passes. Like, it was just a shit show today. The only two players, I said this last week, the only 2 players who have been consistent all season are Sells and Milenkovic, and I stand by that because, yes, Nico Williams had a good season, but he's the one who caused the goal today. Nico Williams basically got a second assist today. He headed the ball.
Wow, I haven't seen it back.
So
what did he do?
The ball comes in. He does one of those stupid headers that someone did in the last match. Can't remember who. Bounces back off his head, straight to Neto's foot, ball across the box, and it's a tap in for.
But I have to say, Ben, I've seen Neto destroy a lot of wingers this season, a lot of defenders this season. I think I had him in his pocket. I think he stopped him every time.
Yeah, he was okay defensively, but going forward today, we were crap. Going forward, we were crap.
His crosses was so bad, bro.
Crosses, what are they? I say to Nathan today, look at us. Why don't we put every time we did put the ball in the middle? They were in panic stations, booting it out, getting each other's way.
We put it in properly like 3 times.
Yeah, I mean,
get that ball. I know it's old-fashioned, but get that ball in the box because that's where you score. You don't score on the halfway line, passing it between your bloody midfield and defenders.
Alanga's first corner today, one of the biggest game of the season.
Bad.
The biggest game of the season. And what does he do?
Terrible,
Classic Elanga kicks it barely to even the first man, the first defender. And I just thought, like,
yeah, the guy had to dip his head down to head it, isn't it?
It's like, come on, guys, this is the biggest game of the season, and you're playing like this.
There were a few times as well when the defender, whether it be Nico or whether it be Ola, did really well to get to the byline, and they overhit it every time. Every time they overhit it, it goes out the other side.
The crap today. We're normally
Did you see the final cross by Gibbs-White? And did you see it? You'd have been right there. MGW's final cross. Just ballooned it out.
Went straight out.
Straight out. In injury time.
I don't remember it in particular, but in general.
I do. I remember it.
You know what we were doing earlier in the season, if you remember, is we were putting crosses in hard and low across the box. All of a sudden now we're trying to float it up to the back every time. You know it's going to be
there's no pace
back for either Murillo or Milenkovic to head it back. You know, whoever's there. It's like, dude, just stop it. And I tell you what, when Milenkovic came up front, he did more in his first bit of play as a centre forward. He did more than Chris Wood did all game. He ran for the ball and he chased, and eventually it went out for Forrest's throw because he chased.
But again, that's squad depth, isn't it? Who'd you bring on? Okay, Jota, but not with 10 minutes to go.
But it's not even that. It's like Elanga, bro. He stunk it today. Again, he kept cutting inside. He kept switching wings. Like, he's quicker than both their fullbacks.
The thing is, don't you think that it's because he knows that when he gets that byline and looks up, there's nobody there?
But we scored so many goals from that this season. He gets to the byline, looks up, and Chris Wood is there making a little move. And as you said, he goes low and hard across the box and gets it to him. There was none of that. When did we get in behind them today?
Chris Wood was outside of the box loads of times when we got forward.
Yeah, we were offside a lot.
That's what I mean. Like striker, you want a striker whose instinct is to get across the front first defender on that near post, you know, with pace and power. And no,
but how can we can see that and all the fans can see that, but the club can't?
Look, the thing is, he scored 20 goals. He scored 20
You
goals.
can't listen. He's had
a great season, but
magical season. You know,
he's had a fantastic season.
But he's like, for me, he's like Haaland. Okay, I'm not comparing the two, right? I'm just saying in terms of the productivity with Haaland, if he doesn't score, he's had a crap game. If he scores, he's had a good game. Do you know what I mean?
I love Haaland, but
yeah,
you're right. You're right.
It's same with Chris Wood. If Chris Wood scores, fantastic game. If he doesn't score, what's he influenced?
What makes you the best you can be? And I always use the golf analogy is if you're a professional golfer and you're good at it, there's one thing which stands you out from the rest: consistency. If you're not consistent as a golfer and you're not consistent as a footballer,
that's the same in every sport, isn't it?
I know, but with golf, it's easier to explain. But you just drop off a cliff. You just drop off a cliff.
Do it, snooker. You do it, snooker.
Yeah, snooker.
Yeah, snooker. Yeah,
shout out to Matt with the 20 months. Big up to you, Matt. Thank you so much. And Tony with the 29 months as well. Big up to you, Tony. Okay, again, instantly. One, bro, you can't spell Haaland's name. And I didn't say that Wood is better than Haaland, right? I'm saying, like,
lack of consistency again.
I'm comparing the situations. It's like, you get me.
You can compare two players who play in a similar situation or style without comparing their ability. You can compare them as footballers.
Exactly. I'm talking about the impact. Stoney with the 31 months. Big up to you, bro. 31 months. That's crazy. All right. Rich, hold on. Rich, is there any truth in this? You guys could at least go to Europe. We could have fun in that tournament together. Rich, is there any truth in this Trackster thing about owning Leon as well? What's going on with that, Rich? Let me know. Someone sent me an article on it. Make sure you subscribe to Rich and the boys at Eagle Eyed Football.
How many likes are we on?
We're on, how are we doing here? We got 800 in here and we are on 168 likes. Where are those likes, guys? Get those likes up.
I suppose I better start the likes.
We should be on 200 likes comfortably by now. Comfortably. Carol whip them into shape.
50% is what people say.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're being general.
People are slacking.
And I get it. What's there to like about today? Okay, let me clarify this. If Chelsea win the conference thing, it means nothing to us. It means nothing to us.
All day I've been thinking that. Even watching them, even when the final whistle blew, and then walking back to the car, I thought, hang on a sec. No, that doesn't work.
They're in the Champions League. Therefore, it's null and void what happens with the Euro. It doesn't get passed down the league. Okay, the only way it would have done it is if they qualified for the same competition.
Yeah, the two Europa clubs are Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. We get two Europa League places. One's gone to the FA Cup winners, which is normal. And it's had Man City won it, then they would give it to a league position. But
we would have been in Europa.
Villa in Europa.
No, but that's not even it. And it's because if Chelsea finished 6th and won Europa, the prizes are the same.
Won the conference.
So we would have had 3 in there. We would have had 3 in there.
It's just worked out exactly wrong.
All right, let's
finishing 4th in this league. Jeez.
All right, well, let's talk about Nuno. What does this mean for Nuno? I've had a couple of messages. I need to check them out, but I don't know if all is right, if whatever's going to happen with him. I think what a job he has done this season, but how do you guys think Marinakis is now feeling towards Nuno? And chat, what do you think about? By the way, I'm seeing loads of Nuno outs, Nuno's ins, Nuno shake it all about in the chat. Don't let anyone tell you if you should be Nuno out or in. You do you. A couple of you asking for. I'll put a poll up. Let's see. I won't mind getting a general mood of you guys in the chat. What you're saying, but how do you guys feel? Marinakis feels with Nuno right now. What you boys saying?
I mean, I think Marinakis will be fuming because I think he'll think similar to us in the fact that 8 games ago we should have been guaranteeing ourselves Champions League. And don't forget the financial impact it has on Marinakis. I mean, we're talking something like 120 million to get into the Champions League. So of course he's going to be angry. But in terms of Nuno, what I would like to see next season is I really want to see Nuno go against the grain in the sense that he wants to work with a small squad. I want to see him work with a much bigger squad. I would like to see us bring in maybe 5 or 6 positions as cover, because I reckon today if we had that, we would have won that game, or we would have won some of the more recent games. But if he wants to go into the next season again, trying to just play your best 11 and not really having the greatest backup on the bench, I don't think we can compete for where we want to be. So I'd keep Nuno, and I would give him a chance for next season, and he'll probably hit the ground running again. But you know, you've got to have a bigger, stronger team. And don't forget, we will be in the Conference League, so you'll have more matches anyway. And the second thing I want to see is he needs to get his in-game management, his substitutions.
That's not going to start now, is it, Ben? He's experienced enough. It's not going to change overnight now, is he?
No, but by next season, he needs to review this season and I think have a look at where he could have made some better impacts, because his substitutes virtually every game for me have been woeful. And I don't know if they see something different at ground level, but why he took Sangare off today when he was clearly our best player, clearly the person making the
sometimes you have to wait for the aftermath. You know, sometimes if fans go crazy and then he had an injury. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe he wasn't fit. Maybe he had an injury. Whatever. But you know, if you switch it the other way around and say, why did he give Jota 10 minutes when we were chasing the game? We needed 2 goals. Like, whatever way you put it.
Desperation, isn't it? That's simple.
The desperation, it shouldn't come that late. He could have put Jota on with 25 minutes to go. You know, like.
You could see for the prior 20 minutes before that substitution that we were getting nowhere. There was no penetration, nothing was happening.
And he needs, and people might be annoyed at this, but we can't be sentimental with players like Ryan Yates. We need much better quality on the bench. We need much better, higher quality. If we want to think of ourselves as challenging for the top 6 next season, we need to be a bit ruthless with the players. And if they're crap, they go. Or if they're not the level we want to be, they've got to go. You've got to bring better people in. You know, you can't have this sentimental attitude towards football if you want to compete at the highest level. Like people like Jota, Sosa, for me, they've just got to go. They're not good enough. They might be good as Premier League players, but they're not top 6 Premier League players. You've got to be ruthless.
You know what? One of the ways I think is valid to justify whether you should keep a player or you should buy this particular player is what you're aiming for. So, for example, if you're aiming to win the European Cup, you have to buy European Cup winning players and sell players that aren't good enough. If you're aiming for Champions League qualification, obviously you look at those and it goes down the list. So my question has always been and will always be, if we're aiming to get the top 5, those clubs in the top 5, would they buy this player? Would they buy our player? And if the answer is don't be stupid to go nowhere near him, then you've got to think to yourself, well, maybe he's not good enough to be chasing top 5. Does that make sense?
I get your point, but it's all about ambition. I mean, Marinakis is probably one of the most ambitious owners in the Premier League, right?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. If Marinakis wants top 5, he needs to go for top 5 players. Now, we all know that they're not easy to get, obviously, but that should be his ambition, to go and try top 5 players. If you want to get in the top, it's no good. If you want to get in the top 5, it's no good getting players that Crystal Palace would buy.
Sorry. No, I agree.
That slipped out.
I get your point, Anne.
Brentford.
Half of our
Brentford.
fan base,
Yeah, I meant Brentford. Yeah.
Half of Forest fan base don't seem to have that ambition.
No.
They'd be quite happy if we were a mid-table Premier League team.
That's because you can't blame them, Ben, because that's because they've experienced 25 years of utter shite.
I'm not blaming them. That's their opinion. They're entitled to have their own opinion. I'm just saying, as somebody who's more ambitious than that, I think we're better than a mid-table Premier League team. We can push on potentially and get top 5, top 6, you know, but we need the players there to do it. You can't try and do it with a.
I think we've proven it as well. If you stayed 3rd in the best league in the world for as long as we did, then you surely are just a couple of players shy of sustaining that position. Now, the question is, were some of those results. You know, if we replay that Liverpool game again 10 times, how many times do we win it 1-0 at Anfield? Do you know what I mean? Like, do we turn it around?
If we played the same and they played the same, we'd win it 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, say you played it 10
times.
I know.
I'm just being an arse because I'm pissed
asshole. But I'm just saying, but you could then shout the same things about if we play that Everton game again 10 times, do we lose that game or that Leicester game and what have you? So that's whichever way
as well.
I'm actually a little worried, if I'm honest, because I'm 10 games is a quarter of the season. We've been bad for 10 games. That's a quarter of the season.
But I think
if we take that into next season, we're screwed, aren't we?
That point from N2 War is interesting. Like, Man City had, I know they've still had a good season, but for them, it's been a pretty bad season. Like, there was lots of points dropped. I mean, like, what if Liverpool won the league on? They would have won it on 75 points. There's been seasons where people are, teams are getting close to 100 points to win the league.
But that's a trend. That's a coming trend. Is that Man City have masked the coming trend? Man City have masked it because they've been so masterful. And
did they win today?
Times.
Yeah, they won 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. That you don't tend to look down the league, but actually this has been coming because mid-table teams, so-called mid-table teams, if you like, are getting stronger. So I don't think it's going to be a case of the top 5 are going to storm away with it every year. I don't think that's the case, because
the
teams like us and Newcastle, Villa, even the likes of Fulham and Brentford are getting stronger. So I think the days of it being 4 clubs, like the big 4 as it used to be, 4 clubs miles away from everybody else, I think they're going. I hope so anyway.
But what you said, Ben, about the Ruthless thing, I 100% agree with you, because there's a lot of, like, I do it myself. You look at Sosa, for example, and I think to myself, well, maybe there's a player in there if we give him some time. Can you give players time in this league when your squad is as small as ours? Or does it need to be more ruthless? Does Sosa need to go? Does Danilo, Ant's boy, Matt's boy, shout out to Matt as well. It's like, has Danilo, I'm not so convinced about, because I think
Sangare. That's what I was saying.
I was just going to say with Danilo, I think with that injury, if he gets a preseason, I think we start to see a similar Danilo. But them fringe players, if they're not good enough, should they be moved on? By the way, on the Nuno in out debate, 50% are Nuno in, 26% are Nuno out, and 25% are Nuno doubt. Wow.
I mean, I think
that's amazing for a club that's just finished 7th after finishing the 2 previous days at 16th and 17th. That's amazing, isn't it? I'm not saying I disagree with it, by the way. I'm saying it's amazing. You'd expect it to be 95% Nuno in.
I mean, I'm Nuno in for sure, but I mean, the Danilo one's interesting because
I'm in doubt.
The Danilo one, I think if you play him in the right position, he can be good. The recent games we've seen Danilo in, Nuno's been trying to play him as like a CDM, which is not his role. The difference with Sosa and Jota is that they are playing in their best position, the position they want to play, and they're still not that good.
I don't feel like I've seen Sosa very much. Am I imagining that?
No, but if he's not getting played, if Nuno's not picking,
did he get one start against Everton? Was it with that late injury? Was it to Murillo or something? Away at Everton.
What's the point? We need proper backups. We need people who we know can come off the bench and make a difference.
I'd even say, and this is going to be definitely an unpopular opinion, but I think Nico Williams has been the most improved player this season, right? You could probably chuck Wood in there, maybe, yeah. But is there a top 5 team that would buy him off us?
I think so.
As their left back,
I think he's proven himself this season. Try not to let recency bias take over. If you think of some of the performances he's put in this season,
no. I think even recently he's been good. Maybe the second half today he stunk it a little.
So, I think he would be. He could be picked up by a top 5 or 6 team. I think Villa would have him. Newcastle, Chelsea.
Newcastle have got Hall and Livramento.
No. I don't mean to replace.
No, I'm talking. Is he at the level? Because this is the thing I'm saying to you. I think he's been so heavily improved that I think next season you'd like to think he kicks on more. My biggest criticism of him is that I still don't think in the final third he produces enough, probably because he has to cut in, ideally, to be on his stronger foot. And sometimes he can get muscled off the ball in defense, although he's improved on that.
I'll tell you what, okay, if we decided to sell him, I tell you what, I think we'd make a profit on the 17 million we paid for him. I think we'd make a big profit.
I don't think
just on Nuno. So he's done an interview with Sky Sports. His closing words are, "This is not the time to talk about me." Whether there's anything to read into that or not.
Well, I heard him interview with Colin Frey, and he was basically talking about next season.
Well,
Ben, would you stop touching stuff?
Just on the Nico Williams point, I don't.
No, trouble's started now. He's been to the pub.
I don't think we want to sell him.
No, I'm not saying sell him or anything. My overarching point is, are we bigging up players better than they are?
I think he needs another season. I think he's been great, but I think he needs another season before other bigger clubs, so-called, take a look at him. But my point is that if you look at the team today, and this is why I'm really annoyed that he took Sangare off, because I thought the last 2 or 3 games with Sangare, and it's made such a difference to how we look like we play. We don't need that many positions, but if we get in, say, another winger and a new striker, and maybe another centre mid, we'll have an amazing team.
We need 2 wingers.
Or 2 wingers, whatever you call it. But if we strengthen the positions where we've weakened over the last third of the season, we could be a serious team again next season. My worry is that we start to lose people. And I know everyone's saying Murillo and Morgan Gibbs-White. What happens if we lose Milenkovic? That will destroy us as a team.
That would be more upsetting to me than losing Morgan Gibbs-White.
People don't realise how much of a difference Milenkovic has made. And if we start losing players like that, players who are core to our squad, then we'll be in some serious trouble.
Well, shout out to Milenkovic. He won Player of the Season. That got announced as well.
So he should.
Well deserved.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, that'll make him stay.
It's between him and Sells, right? We've got still over 800 in here. We've only got 232 likes, so get the energy.
Rob turned up.
Get the energy, guys.
Disliking that.
Let's get it over 250. That's another 17 of you.
We're ruining Wolfie's spiel.
He's gonna come on swearing.
Yeah, man. Seriously, you guys don't shut up, and then I need to speak for 1 second. Okay, so that poll, I finished it. Nuno in 49%, Nuno out 27%, Nuno doubt 22%. Right, I need the loot. I've been sat here since freaking 2 o'clock, right?
Right, Rob's going to talk for the next half an hour.
Yeah, so Rob, do your thing.
We're all off now. We're all going to go and do something else.
I just need the loot, right? Can you just let Rob start talking, right? All right, Rob, over to you. I'll be right back.
Right. So just for the benefit of the viewers, we've actually had a behind the scenes.
Or is it my eyes playing tricks?
Are you interrupting me already?
Has he got 2 heads?
You got to. Can't hear you, Ant, because you're talking down into your lap.
Has he got 2 heads on that picture?
No.
Oh, Wolfie, yeah, Wolfie's he's doubled up 3D.
Go on, Rob, hurry up.
We've had a behind the scenes row in the WhatsApp group because this was meant to be at 8 o'clock and then it was brought forward to 7 p.m. because these guys just can't wait for the end of the season. They just want to get it over with. They don't want to revel in it. They just want it behind them. So I'm here on time at 8 o'clock as advertised.
Drunk.
You only got 1 head.
It's 8:05.
I'm keeping you appraised of the head situation, Rob. That's all.
Anybody that hasn't been to the pub after watching that is going to be sorely disappointed. I started today with extremely low expectations, and yet I still managed to be disappointed. So I haven't heard anything that they said over the last hour, so I'm probably going to say it all again. But how did everybody lose? I can't understand that. What were the odds on that?
Rob? Makes it worse.
Everybody, it is worse. If the other teams had won, I could have taken that. But how did everybody lose?
So crazy.
Right, okay. So who's in charge now? If Wolf is not here, Ant's in charge. Ant, ask me if I'm grateful to Nuno.
Rob, are you grateful to Nuno?
I'm really grateful to Nuno. Ask
Okay.
me if I like.
Expand
Ask
on
me if
that.
I like Nuno.
Do you like him?
I love Nuno. I love Nuno. Now
Okay.
ask me if Nuno should be replaced over the summer.
But do you feel, even though you love him and you're grateful to him, do you think he's taken us as far as he can, and we perhaps need to think about a replacement in the summer?
You may be onto something there.
I thought you were a Lib Dem.
Rob, I want your opinion because we value your opinion.
And ask me if I like Morgan Gibbs-White.
Definitely pissed, isn't he? He's definitely pissed.
Which is worse than ever quiz.
Ask me if I like Morgan Gibbs-White.
Do you like Morgan Gibbs-White?
I love
Hang
Morgan
on.
Gibbs-White.
I'm in charge. Rob, do you like Morgan Gibbs-White?
I love Morgan Gibbs-White. Ask me if I'm grateful to Morgan Gibbs-White.
And are you grateful for all that he's done for us over the past couple of seasons?
I'm really grateful to Morgan Gibbs-White.
That's very interesting.
Ask me if you think Morgan Gibbs-White should move to Man City in the summer for about
jumping in there because I kind of figured where this might be going. Would you be disappointed or upset or quite pleased if he were to go to Manchester City and we received a large fee for him that would enable us to...
about 80 million, that would do me.
70?
Well, the trouble is, I wanted to buy Jono back, but his transfer value has just gone through the roof.
He's ruined it. Yes, Rob is pissed. Breaking news, Rob's had about 10 pints.
I'm pissed in the European and the American sense of the word.
Yes. It could be worse, Rob. It could be worse. We could be Sheffield United. Do you want to have a quick word about Sheffield United?
You've been interrupted. Chris with the £2 says, "Go back to the pub, Rob."
No, I like this, Rob. It's a lot
nice. Thrown out of the pub. I was thrown out of the Vale.
And the Vale let anybody in.
Look, I personally think we're going to lose the qualifying round for the Conference League.
I mean, throw it. You mean?
Look, we have to play a qualifying round for the Conference League, don't we?
Yeah, 2 legs.
I've been told that.
Who are we going to get? Something like AZ,
one of the European giants.
We're going to get Tractor Volgograd or something, and we're going to lose 2-0. I mean, honestly, I feel like Forest could not punch their way out of a paper bag at the moment.
True.
Right. 4 home games, 2 of which I went to. 4 home games. We've scored 2 goals and we've taken 1 point.
Yeah.
But can you caveat that by saying who the 2 goals were against?
No, I can't even.
Leicester City, Rob. Leicester City.
I know, I can't even.
You can barely speak, let alone think.
Don't make me think about that, right? If we'd just held on in that game, all we had to do was take more than 1 point from those 4 home games.
Incredible, isn't it? Incredible.
Yeah.
So, am I disappointed? I started today thinking chance of us winning and all the other teams losing is like 10%. I'm not going to have any kind of hopes at all. And yet they've still managed to disappoint me. How does that bring...
My thoughts were, Rob, I was for some reason, I had it in my head we were going to get, if we beat Chelsea, we get Europa League. I wasn't thinking about Champions League because I thought there's no way they're all going to screw up, or any of them, indeed. But I thought we could beat Chelsea. So in my mind, when I got up this morning, I went on the way to the game, I was thinking, well, at least we've got as a consolation prize. And I like Europa League, so I'd have been quite happy with Europa League. Mm-hmm. As I've said, trophy we can win, plus it gets into, the Champions League next season. So I never really thought about Conference League. In fact, for some reason, I had a decent reason. I expected Chelsea to, if we lost to Chelsea, I still thought that Villa wouldn't lose to Man U. So we would get Europa League via Chelsea winning the Conference League.
Yeah.
So it's all gone.
That was quite funny because I was like, yes, Villa are losing. And then I was like, shit, Villa are losing. Come on, Villa.
Yeah, I know.
When they had Martinez sent off, just before half time, I thought, this is going quite well, isn't it? You know,
dream
what
on
we're
it.
gonna
I mean,
do-
obviously in the ground, you don't get any. But the guy sat behind me at one point. I thought, did he say Man U are winning? Did he say Martinez has been sent off? You know, listening. And then she looks 2-0 Man U now, and Everton are beating Newcastle. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is a disaster.
Yeah. I know.
Did I hear
The irony
right.
that we needed Villa to actually win.
I know, crazy, isn't it?
Did you say you would be
Newcastle.
okay with Nuno going?
Right, now we have to do the whole charade again. Wolfie, ask me if I like Nuno.
Yeah, I heard the first two.
Right, okay.
Ask me the
Ask
last
me if
question.
I'm grateful to Nuno.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Now ask me how I would feel if Nuno moved on and was replaced.
How would you feel if Nuno was moved on and replaced?
Look,
Well, that was worth waiting for.
what it comes down to is like everything that we did up to this point to get 1 point out of 12 from your last 4 home games, scoring only 2 goals.
Are you not making Nuno a victim of his own success?
Can I just say, look, in what world is that not a failure? Right?
You were fine with that when Cooper was doing it.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
No.
You wanted
was
Cooper
not
until the
actually.
very end. You'd still have Cooper in now if it wasn't for
Well,
that.
Cooper won 1 in 14 and you were still Cooper in.
No, I was not actually.
So you've
right?
got a Nuno agenda, Rob, is basically what you admit.
No, I've changed my opinion after he took 1 point from 7 games. So
That's not wrong.
Wait. When we did the debate, Cooper was probably 1 win in about 8.
So look, just to be clear, I like Cooper and I'm grateful to Steve Cooper. Would I want him as a manager now? No. Right? So I think you've got to understand when your manager has taken you as far as he can.
I'll tell you what, I am hearing some stuff. I cannot say anything that's not verified.
You're not put any blame on the players, Rob.
Well,
That's a
the
good
problem
question.
is,
That's a good question.
Okay, so I really thought for 40 minutes there we were going to have a go. Right?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have a go. We just didn't.
Yeah.
And what really surprised me was that the minute that we took Sangare off, we couldn't attack anymore.
That's
And I
what
don't
we were
understand
saying.
exactly why. It's possibly because he was the only one. It's possibly because he's the only one that can play a forward pass, right?
Yep.
Yes,
But
yeah.
as soon as he went off, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, next year, Chris Wood needs to be a backup. He needs to be a backup and a substitute, right? Anthony Elanga, a backup and a substitute. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I really don't know. It's not the defense that's the problem. We need to seriously invest in our forward players.
And
We
midfield.
probably need 2 strikers and 2 wingers,
Mhm.
right? But the problem is, having finished 7th, we are now going to be picked apart. The corpse of Forest is going to be picked apart by the big 6 clubs, including Tottenham, the big 6 club that were a laughingstock, who are now in the Champions League. They're going to be saying, "Oh, we'd quite like Milenkovic. Oh, we'd quite like Ola Reiner." I mean, why not? Why not? We are now going to be picked apart, just as we're looking at like the likes of Ipswich and people that have gone down now. Like, oh, maybe we could buy various people from the relegated teams. Coming 7th, we are going to be picked apart. The teams that made it to the Champions League are going to pick us apart.
Rob, you've had a good run for your money, right? So we're going to be picked apart. So let's start off with Murillo and MBW. Okay, they're the 2 most likely ones. After that, which other other players have we got?
Milenkovic,
The other top 4 or 5 teams will want to purchase. And what contracts are they on? I think you've been a little tiny bit over the top with the negativity. So
no, right, okay. Milenkovic would get in any team.
Yeah, Milenkovic. Why would we sell him?
Right, it doesn't matter whether we would sell him. It's
What
whether
matters, he's on a contract.
And come on, are you not the one that said once the player knows that people are interested?
I agree with that. But and I could be wrong here, but Milenkovic stayed at Fiorentina a long time. Maybe he's not that kind of player. Hopefully,
And he just won player of the season, Rob.
Some players will put their own ambition above any loyalty, not loyalty to the club, but as an employee. And others agitate. I don't think Milenkovic is an agitator. I could be wrong, of course. We don't know that.
Here's another one. Do you not think that Aina is the best right back in the division?
No, I think Reece James is.
Second.
All right, second. So that still means there's 6 teams or 5 teams.
He's been available with a year to go for 2 years. And he's not getting any younger, you know. He's 28, so he'll be 29 next season. So
I mean, they're not going to sell.
Which team's going to offer Forest enough money for us to say it's worthwhile letting him go?
No, the problem is that even though we don't need to sell.
By the way, Rob, I'm not sort of just getting. I'm just trying to talk it through with you.
People's heads will be turned. Right, we are now the obvious candidate.
Teams don't tend to buy 28-year-olds anymore. They buy young players.
All right, let's do this the easier way. Rob, who do you think could have their head turned? Chat, same question.
Right.
Who do you think? Outside of the Murillo, Morgan Gibbs-White stuff.
If I was one of these global clubs, one of these global big clubs with like a 70,000 stadium and fans in Indonesia or whatever, I would be after Milenkovic, Aina, probably Elanga as well. Well, those three would be the top of my shopping list.
All right, that's not going to rip the club apart, though, is it?
Well, I don't know. Aina being unavailable for 3 or 4 games seems to have cost us the Champions League.
But in the summer, you can buy new players, Rob, to replace those players.
Yeah, but who are we?
He hasn't thought that far ahead.
We're going to be buying people from Ipswich and Southampton.
Well, like Man U.
That's Man U, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, Casemiro can leave. I wonder how much he would.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Callum Hudson-Odoi left. I can't imagine he wants to sit on the bench all season if he's not.
I don't know. Has he had a good season?
Would we be devastated if Callum Hudson-Odoi and Sosa and Jota left, for example?
Depends.
Has Hudson-Odoi had as good a season this year as he did last year? I don't think so.
No, but it doesn't look like he's been match fit.
He's dining out on 1 goal against Liverpool and a goal against Man City. Absolutely brilliant.
There's talent there, Rob. He needs to be in the right. Sorry, he needs to be in the right system with the right manager to get it out of him. That's my belief.
To do his RBX trick.
I'll be honest with you. I've gone off Callum Hudson.
You could argue, has he been found out? If people stop him from cutting inside, does he offer a goal threat?
Well, you move him then, don't you? You put him on the other side.
Yeah, but then Elanga's not good on that side. So then
why am I talking crap?
From the best position to the wrong side.
Somebody asked Jason why
Rob, we've all been asking the same question for months, mate.
No, but what specifically? What is crap?
Everything you've said since joining.
Right. What do you agree?
Come on here.
I think he talks more sense when he's drunk.
You're being horrible to him. Leave him alone.
Yeah, you have actually.
It's funny you say.
You said Nuno out, so that's not.
Keep him confused, Rob. Keep him confused.
Look, we need to talk about some of these players. Callum Hudson-Odoi has it in him.
Yeah, he has potential.
I think it's consistency now. Some issues with some of these players. Elanga had 2 really proper purple patches this season, and then I thought he was crap today. I'm probably flip-flopping here, but I think Brennan Johnson's better than Elanga again.
Oh, my God. Right. Can I have a written apology then?
For what?
I think what you need, and I think someone's just said it in the chat as well, the thing that will change Elanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi's game is having a striker who can keep pace with them. Because what they have to do at the moment is they have to run all the way to the end of the pitch, and then they have to turn around and then cross the ball in, hoping that Chris Wood has managed to get there.
But they don't do that, mate. They don't do that.
Spot on.
He can't
I've
keep
seen
up
it
with
so
them.
many times over the last few weeks where you're right. Elanga's
Against
gone down,
certain teams,
he's
it
looked
doesn't
across
work.
and had to come in
They
again.
delay the
It's
cross
not
so
on, mate.
long that Chris Wood's offside.
Yeah,
That's it.
and he just trundles back on side like
Chris
one
Wood's
mile an
offside from goal kicks, mate. For a player of
Mm.
his experience to be repeatedly caught offside is quite frankly ridiculous.
So this comes back to the question: why the hell do we still keep kicking the ball long to goddamn Chris Wood, and he never wins the header anyway?
That's
I was saying all
management.
season, man.
We don't want the
That's
ball.
management.
We don't want the
That's
ball.
management. That is
No,
definitely
okay,
something that's
so-
told.
The answer to that is we were all deeply scarred by Steve Cooper and his building from the back with Matt Turner. Right?
I
The
like him, by
slightest
the
bit
way.
of pressure, and he would pass it straight to an opposition striker. And if someone had said to me, right, for the next year, you're going to take every single goal kick long and you won't have this anymore, I would have ripped your hand off. Because just how many games did we lose last season by 1 goal due to trying to build from the back and then tippy-tappy on the edge of our box and Matt Turner passes straight to an opposition striker?
You know what, as
right?
well? This modern day phenomena of passing out from the back and back to the goalkeeper and to your, say, a centre half, and then centre half back to your right back, and then the right back to the goalkeeper. You know what? Frankly, I'm fucked off and bored with it. And I don't mind a big hoof up the pitch every
That's
now and
true.
again.
That's true.
Oh
Matt
my
Turner
god,
won
let me
the
spit
FA
out my food.
Matt Turner won the FA
Bloody
He
hell,
could be
Jonathan.
our number 1 goalkeeper next season.
Yo, have we got so this Potts just raided us. Big up to Potts if we got Potts right here. Shout out to the 12th Man Podcast. Make sure you're subscribed to Potts. Make sure you've hit the like button as well. This is kind of just a therapy session right now, boys. Like, I don't even know what to say anymore.
Just another point about this building from the back, right? So Burnley came up and Vincent Kompany said, I'm not changing my principles. We're going to build from the back. And they got relegated. And then he got the job at Bayern Munich. Well done, Vincent. Well done. You got Burnley relegated. Right. Then Russell Martin did the same with Southampton. Said, I'm not changing my principles. We're going to build from the back. This is the only team I've seen Forest press this season. Right. We destroyed them with that press because they were tippy-tappy at the back and we stole it off them time and time again. So somebody said, do you know what? Just kick it long and you won't pass it straight to a striker. And that's great, but it's something of an overcorrection now. Something of an overcorrection now because it doesn't really produce very much. That said,
it could work well with,
can we just acknowledge that our
somebody
best
that could
chance
win the
today,
ball in the air occasionally? It would.
Rob, you've been interrupted. You've been interrupted, Rob.
our best chance
Mark,
today.
Rob, you've been interrupted. Mark with the £2. Mark says, we've had a great season, end of.
End of sentence.
Mark, how are you still actually conscious? You were been at it since 9 o'clock
Also-
on the ale.
Rob.
When I met you, you were 3 sheets to the wind, mate.
He always gets started like a sunrise on match
He
days.
was at the arms round you, telling you he loves you stage. That was before the game.
We should also acknowledge, by the way, our best chance today came from Matt Sells punting it over the top to Chris Wood.
Yeah, we've mentioned that already, but you're on the
right. Well, I missed the first hour.
And you've been interrupted again, Rob. Scottish Forest guy says the problem was not getting a second striker in Jan. Exactly.
Facts. I think there was one more, Ben. I think there was one more.
As long as it wasn't Evan Ferguson, I agree with that.
Yeah, so we've had a raid from Potts. Big up to Dan Potts, 12th man. Make sure you're subscribed.
Yeah, we've had a few more.
There you go on, Ben.
I don't think we've read out. Matthias says, "How are the lads?
How are the lads? Right, get rid of this one.
Lads, it's still a good season. You have to walk before you can run. Plus, you'll be one of the favourites to win the Conference League. That's if we win the 2 legs to actually get into it.
Yeah, I think we're going to lose that.
Forest will probably flop that. I don't think we read this one either from Gatman Stav. He says, "Calm down. Nobody wants to buy your players."
Okay, that's fine.
That's good. That's great.
That's unreasonable, right?
Who do you support, by the way? I'd be interested to know who you support.
I remember Luton thinking that Adebayo was worth 80 million, right? So I mean, I think we're not quite as deluded as that. Anybody can just look at FPL and see who are the top defenders, who are the top strikers. So it's like we've had something like the number 3 or 4 striker. We've had the number 2 and the number 3 defenders all season, Aina and Milenkovic. So I don't think we've fantasized.
Rob, I don't care. The number that sticks out right now is the number 7, man. We're 7th after being the number 3.
8 points in 8 games. That is tragic.
Well, 1 point from 4 home games is
That's even more
unacceptable.
tragic. That's
At
even
the
more
business end of the
It's
season.
unthinkable that it's how home form it's actually cost us.
Yeah. I mean,
That's ridiculous. Because
to be
what
fair,
was our forte under Cooper? Fortress
to be
Forest,
fair,
Fortress
I thought
City.
the first-
bro.
Yeah, absolutely. We
first
only won
half
one
was
game
alright.
away all bloody season under Cooper. So
I
had
missed
to
the
be.
first hour. I thought that the first half was all right. I thought that how we were set up by Nuno was all right. What bothers me is the total lack of response to going 1-0 down.
Yes.
And they
First
completely
half, Rob, first
game
half, I was quite
managed us
satisfied.
the hell out of that game.
Mm.
We were game managed out of that. And all I can say is like fair dues to Chelsea. They did a job. They did what they did what we've done to other people this season. They game managed that game.
Yeah. The ironic thing is, if you'd put Cooper in charge the last 4 home games, we probably would have got Champions League.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
We would have won them
tragically,
all
that's
1-0
true.
by a 1-0.
Yeah, we'd have got 4 points.
Don't even Ben, don't piss me off right now, please. I'm
Would've
just
got 4 points.
holding it together.
Bring back Cooper, I said. Bring back Cooper.
It was by the way, there was a very touching moment before the game started when Tyro came out on the pitch. And he got a really, really.
Oh, did he
nice
come out on the
reception.
pitch?
Yeah.
He looked all right.
Yeah,
He looked okay.
Yeah, he walked right across the pitch, and the reception he got was wonderful, and his response was wonderful also. So yeah, that was nice.
Does
It all
he
went
score
down
those
after
Chris
that.
Wood chances?
Yeah, 100%. One of them off his shin, he would have scored. He would have shinned it in the back of the net.
By
true.
accident. But yes, by accident.
Do you know what though? But in all seriousness, today, like I know Tyro hasn't been on form, but an on-form Tyro today is the type of striker we need. That power, speedy striker who runs through the middle. I think it could have been a different. It could have been a different game with him playing.
I say Brendan Johnson scores today.
Oh,
I
shut
mean,
up.
I could have scored today. So
I haven't spoken to you.
How
since
the hell would Johnson score? Johnson's goals are all scored at the back post tap-ins. We don't
Not
do that
for
kind of
us.
thing.
Not for us. What are you talking about? That's for Spurs, man.
Yeah, for Spurs, that's what I'm saying. That's who he plays for.
Oh,
Now,
by the
that's
way,
a
why
great
wasn't
situation.
Casado sent off?
I don't know.
Because he went through the back of Gibbs-White in the first half. That bold bastard didn't give him a yellow card. He books him in the second half.
Taylor, yeah, he
I'm
wasn't.
just saying.
The ref wasn't that bad today, though. Could have been
Yeah.
much worse.
All right, let's close this therapy.
No, we wouldn't. No.
Oh. Wazza with the £2. He says, mixed feelings. Europe, yes. Performance second.
Today.
For performance today, no. Bro, I hear you, bro. I hear you, Wazza. Thank you for the £2. We've also, was there another one as well that we missed?
I don't think so.
Juju with the 199. Top left waffled all week and got humbled by
Yeah, you
Colwell.
jinxed that, Wolfie. I thought that, but as soon as he scored, I was like, Wolfie said Colwell's going to win us the Champions League spot, and he did the exact opposite.
That's not my fault.
He's still a Forest legend, Colwell. He's
He's not.
still a
He's
Forest
not.
legend.
I say burn the statue down, man. Like, no. Playoff means nothing now. That idiot
You
scores.
just can't trust the guy. I'm sorry, you can't trust him.
Wait, chat, are you blaming me for saying Colwell would score another memorable goal for us?
100%.
Chat, are we doing
It's
this?
definitely
Are we doing
memorable.
this, chat?
It's definitely memorable.
Are we
It's
seriously doing this?
literally the first thing I thought.
Big up to Tyang. He says Reece James was unreal for Chelsea. I couldn't really give a shit. In all
Come on,
honesty.
it was a good.
I don't
performance
think
by
any
them.
no, the best player was Medwecki.
When Milenkovic was playing up front, he mugged Reece James. And I love Reece James. I think he's the best right back in the country. But he mugged
I
him.
know.
Milenkovic against Reece James. I'm sorry, no contest.
The depression levels, man. Seriously. How we doing? We got 850 nearly in
Yeah,
here.
hit the like.
We're on
That's
300
fantastic.
likes. Get up to 3. We should be on 400 likes, guys.
We're on
Is that
500.
because everybody's come on here to see us cry? Is that why there's so
Yeah.
many?
No, I don't know. The trollers, say hi in the chat if you're in there.
It's because Rob brought half the veil with him.
Yeah. They just want to see drunk Rob.
There
All
was
right, let's-
nobody there. There was a few people came in.
That's
with
because you were
Forest.
there.
Uh,
Piss off.
all right. Let me do the question then, right?
Ooh, next season.
Are you happy or pissed off with the season? Ben. Chat, let me know as well.
I mean, I have to answer it like an MP in 2 parts.
Do not give right.
I have to answer
I'm
it.
talking about now. I don't look okay. We all know the snowflake narrative of in the context of the season. Forrest, if you asked us at the start of the year, would you take care of it a bit in your hand off? We get that, right? I'm saying, how you feeling right now?
That's the answer. You've just answered it.
Yeah.
No, I said we're not doing the context crap.
That's 50% of that is the answer. The other 50% is that I think it's an absolute shit show that we had 8 games to get about 10 points to give us Champions League, 9 points actually, and we got 8 in 8 games. And I'll refer you back to the stat I said at the start of the program. If you take the last 7 games of every team in the Premier League, Forest finish 20th. So for me,
Are you 100% on that?
that's what it said on Sky. It said
Yeah,
if
but
you
Sky
take the
also employed Gary Neville.
Southampton have got more points in the last 10 games than we have.
That can't be right.
7 games. 7
7
It
games.
specifically was 7. That's what it said on Sky. Anyway, it's there or thereabouts.
Southampton have
can't be
picked up
true.
1 point in their
Yeah,
last
that can't be
5.
true. We beat Tottenham away. We've beaten West Ham away.
Ipswich have got 1 in their last 5.
Anyway, that's what it said on Sky, right? My point is, I'll start again.
Are you drunk?
Before the start of the season, 7th place is great. Last third of the season, it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We've absolutely bottled it. We have purely 100% bottled it. We should be sat in a Champions League spot or at least Europa. Conference for me is I just purposely throw the 2 legs and allow it. I don't care. I don't care about conference.
Here's the stat for you. In the last 5, Forest are 15th. Leicester are ahead of us on form. West Ham are ahead of us on form.
Stop.
Bournemouth who have stunk it out ahead of us on form.
If that's not
Fulham
the
ahead of us on form.
definition of
Let
bottling,
me tell you the 5 teams below us on form. Wolves, who won 1 and drew 1. Then Manchester United, Southampton, Ipswich, and bottom of the pile Spurs.
Well, that is shocking. We've gone from one of the most overperforming teams the whole season to just throwing the season. If you don't want to call it bottling, call it throwing. We've thrown the season away right at the end.
You know what's done it? I've just sat here and I've analysed it, and I've finally come to the conclusion. I know what's happened. We relied too much on Chris Wood, and
Well,
if he ain't scoring, we don't fucking score. Hey?
He said exactly that.
Who did?
Us as a panel
When?
in January, we said you can't
Oh,
rely.
I know. Yeah, I know. No, I'm with you on that, mate. You know I am, but I'm just
Exactly.
explicitly explaining
thrown the
that the
bottle.
reason is we've not bottled it. We've
Wow.
just relied on a player that is not continued in the form that he had earlier in the season.
So you're saying it's Chris Wood's fault?
So by extension, had we brought in a player that could have taken that mantle on and scored the goals,
Who?
we would have qualified.
Ferguson.
Neither Ferguson nor Nketiah. There are 2 that are out the window.
And
This
Nketiah
is
scored
the
more of the
problem,
goals than Chris Wood in the
problem.
last 5.
We should have signed that imaginary player that's good enough.
Wissa. Why not
Wissa.
put 30 million on Wissa?
Should have signed Visser. That's the end. That's the end.
Hoyland. Oh my god.
You know, not
Even with
Hoyland,
Hoyland,
no.
we probably would have done
Hoyland got Martinez sent off today.
exactly.
All right, look, this is like I need a break because I'm about to get cooked on never a foul at 9:30.
Don't go. Just refuse to turn up.
I don't know. I'll
seriously,
make my
don't
mind
go.
up. I'll make my mind up. Listen, I'm gonna send you guys over to Talking Reds, and you guys are gonna go.
Hang on a sec before you do that. How
What?
can you possibly be cooked on Never a Foul when the main man there, let's face it, Cass, his team has imploded to the nth degree?
Because you know what he's going to say? He's going to be like,
Hotspur in the
I even
final.
got you the win today. I got you the win today.
Just keep saying Tottenham Hotspur beat you in the final, you know.
Yeah.
Every time-
I
whatever
don't
he
even know
says.
who's going to be on the panel, man. Yo, me and Josh, man. Josh, hand-holding tonight on Never a Foul. Listen, I'm going to send you over to Talking Reds. It's a Forest podcast, right? Where they talk more sense than these idiots here do. You guys need to subscribe to them. I want you to spam in their chat. What should we spam in the chat? There's no like.
Colwell.
No, don't. No, the Forest fans. Like, what should we spam in the chat? Someone come up with a word and we'll spam it in the chat. So, should we go with
beard? Greg's beard.
Beard. Yeah, let's go with beard. Right, everyone go in there, confuse Greg, and just spam the word beard in the chat. Okay, so
beard.
Go do that. Make sure you subscribe to them as well. Get their likes up for them. Make sure you've liked it as well. Let's go and raid them.
Hey, you know, if you think
are in
it's
the
bad for you, I've got to go on Sav's channel tomorrow, and he's a Spurs fan.
Oh, fucking no. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. There'll be my post-match video out later tonight for the members. Beard, as in, because you'll see he's got the sexiest beard on YouTube. All right, go spam beard in there. I'll see you on Never a Foul if you dare to watch it. Come on, you Reds.
You ready?